Fed says rate hikes definitely not over. Your news update, and we talk PlayStation litigation on this edition of State of the Bands Weekend starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage, State of the Bands Weekend for August 27, 2022. I'm Joshua Stark. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell delivered a stark message Friday. The Fed will likely impose more large interest rate hikes in coming months and is resolutely focused on taming the highest inflation in 4 decades. Powell also warned more explicitly than he has in the past that the Fed's continued tightening of credit will cause pain for many households and businesses as its higher rates further slow the economy and potentially lead to job losses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation, he said in a high-profile speech at the Fed's annual economic symposium in Jackson Hole. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain. UK residents will see an 80% increase in their annual household energy bills, the country's energy regulator announced Friday, following a record 54% spike in April. That will bring costs for the average customer from £1,971, that's $2,332, to £3,549. The latest price cap, the maximum amount that gas suppliers can charge customers per unit of energy, will take effect October 1st, just as the cold months set in, and bills are expected to rise again in January to £4,000. To blame for the increase is the soaring price of wholesale natural gas triggered by Russia's war in Ukraine, which is driving up consumer prices and roiling economies across Europe that rely on the fuel for heating homes and generating electricity. The Treasury Department is facing pushback from the cryptocurrency industry over sanctions imposed on a firm accused of helping launder billions of dollars, with some funds going to North Korean hackers. Earlier this month, the Treasury Department imposed sanctions on the virtual currency mixing firm Tornado Cash, which allegedly helped to launder more than $7 billion worth of virtual currency since its creation in 2019. Mixing services combine various digital assets, including potentially illegally and legitimately obtained funds, to keep the origins of the funds secret, including money that has been stolen. In the weeks after the sanctions were announced, crypto firms, lobbyists, and at least one lawmaker have come to the firm's defense, saying the sanctions open the door to limiting Americans' usage of privacy software. A blind Michigan judge went for a drive in a Sheriff Road shotgun as 100 people watched. Richard Bernstein of the Michigan Supreme Court drove a car on a dirt track Tuesday at the Genesee County Fairgrounds northwest of Flint. I've always wanted that feeling of what it was like to hit the gas, or what it was like to turn on the ignition, and what it's like to operate a steering wheel, Bernstein, 47, told WNEM-TV. Sheriff Chris Swanson was in the passenger seat giving directions and encouragement. They wore helmets. Straighten it out, soft left, Swanson said. He's doing it. Bernstein, who is seeking re-election in November, didn't let blindness discourage him from certain goals. He's run more than 20 marathons. Not running a marathon here, but we'll be right back with more State of the Bands Weekend. Stick around.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad
This
Council.
week's State of the Band's blog includes Virgos are so picky. I always feel like Amazon is watching me. And Royce and I talk PlayStation Litigation. All this and more in this week's State of the Band's blog, available now at arbitragetrade.com. Now let's go to the president and CEO of Arbitrage, Mr. Royce Wells, for more. Royce, what's your sign?
Stop.
I think mine would be turn around now.
Right. Right. You've been
Or,
watching.
or maybe dead end.
I would turn back now if I were you. All right, we're going back to Wizard of Oz now, right?
There we go. And everybody seems to have this thing about astrology. You know, it started in like the 60s.
Oh, that sign.
Just gotten really worse. I'm a Leo, whatever that means.
Yeah. Libra here.
Yeah. You know, there's like little phrases. You know, have you ever heard of never trust a Gemini?
Yep.
Or Virgos are all so picky. And what does, being born in June or August or September has to do with personality?
Some of that I can say is true-ish.
Well, it's really popular. There's references to media and clothing, appearance, and food. And, you can get clothing and food and even a haircut that's suited to your astrological sign. So
really?
Yeah. So what's going on here? Well, I mean, do they have anything at all to do with health or to do with anything that's really real?
I don't think so, but maybe you can tell me a little bit more. I'm intrigued.
The thing is that zodiac signs are so broad that it's easy to kind of fit the box, right?
Okay.
And we're not the only ones that have superstitions with personality type. For example, some Asian countries actually have personality types. You know, they have years that they look at. For example, I was born in the year of the rabbit, I believe. Rooster, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think I was horse.
Yeah,
sure.
I could be wrong about that. Is there any science behind that? Well, the answer is kind of.
That's what I just said.
Sort of. The more we learn about human development and behavior, the more we realize we really don't know, Yeah. And the thing is that, Aristotle and Socrates were pondering this way back then. And, we can get a grasp on whatever it is that makes us us, and to a certain extent we behave based on hormones and neurological signals and genetics, but what makes people more sociable than others? Why do twins that are raised in the same household, for example, have different personalities?
Yes.
These are the questions we're wondering about.
Hey, maybe it's blood type. Maybe it's, the stars will align. We are just, roaming in this galaxy.
We are simply pawns in the game of life.
And all good things must come to an end.
If you want to know more about this, go to arbitragetrade.com. We're actually doing a series on this. It's pretty cool.
Mon capitaine.
I think. So we're gonna take a look at that. Our star reporter Ari is working on that right now.
Excellent.
And I just put her on the spot. So
and on assignment.
There we go.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day. And it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The landscape of social media is ever-changing, especially among teens who are often on the leading edge of this space. A new Pew Research Center survey of American teenagers ages 13 to 17 finds TikTok has rocketed in popularity since its North American debut several years ago and now is a top social media platform for teens among the platforms covered in the survey. Some 67% of teens say they ever use TikTok, with 16% of all teens saying they use it almost constantly. Meanwhile, the share of teens who say that they use Facebook, a dominant social media platform among teens in the center's 2014 to 15 survey, has plummeted from 71% then to 32% today. YouTube tops the 2022 teen online landscape among platforms covered in the center's new survey, as it is used by 95% of teens. TikTok is next on that list at 67%, followed by Instagram and Snapchat, which both are about 6 and 10. After all these platforms comes Facebook with 32% and smaller shares who use Twitter, Twitch, WhatsApp, Reddit, and Tumblr. Changes in the social media landscape since 2014 extend beyond TikTok's rise and Facebook's fall. Growing shares of teens say that they are using Instagram and Snapchat since then. Conversely, Twitter and Tumblr saw declining shares of teens who report using their platforms, and two of the platforms the center tracked in the earlier survey, Vine and Google+, no longer exist. There are some notable demographic differences in teen social media choices. For example, teen boys are more likely than teen girls to say that they use YouTube, Twitch, and Reddit, whereas teen girls are more likely than teen boys to use TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat. In addition, higher shares of Black and Hispanic teens report using TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp compared with white teens. The study also explores the frequency with which teens are on each of the top 5 online platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Fully 35% of teens say that they are using at least one of them almost constantly. Teen TikTok and Snapchat users are partially engaged with those platforms, followed by teen YouTube users in close pursuit. A quarter of teens who use Snapchat or TikTok say that they use those apps almost constantly, and a fifth of teens say YouTube is the same. When looking at teens overall, 19% say that they use YouTube almost constantly, 16% say that about TikTok, and 16% about Snapchat. When reflecting on the amount of time they spend on social media generally, a majority of U.S. teens, 55%, say that they spend about the right amount of time on these apps and sites, while a third of teens say that they spend too much time on social media. Just 8% of teens think that they spend too little time on these platforms. Asked about the idea of giving up social media, 54% of teens said that it would at least be somewhat hard to give it up, while 46% say that it would be somewhat easy. Teen girls are more likely than teen boys to express that it would be difficult, but we all see that social media has touched our lives. More after this.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Royce, how about some bacon for lunch?
I'm a BLT. I'll take it.
Even without the L and the T, I love me some bacon.
Come on, man. Have a heart.
That's actually something we've talked about before, hasn't it? Hasn't it been? We had the first semi-successful pig heart to human transplant, and the guy, well, his name was David Bennett, right?
Oh no!
And he received a pig heart. Unfortunately, he did pass away after 2 months. That's why we said semi-successful. He wasn't eligible for a human heart transplant due to some of his lifestyle choices. Bad lifestyle choices, it happens, right? So he was asked if he wanted to be in an experimental procedure, and this is not something that comes up very often. It's not on the checklist. Hey, you need a heart. Do you want a pig heart? It's not one of those things that you check.
He's alive. Alive.
Pig. So given the fact that this was an experimental procedure, he had no other options. He agreed, and he was initially able to lead a somewhat normal life post-surgery, but unfortunately his condition deteriorated, and he lived much longer than his projected timeline, given his health history. But what other pig organs are compatible enough with humans to be transplanted? Well,
there's a list?
There is a list. Because there is collagen and there is pig valves that can be used. But let's talk about corneas for a second. Not exactly pig corneas, but corneas considered made from pig collagen.
What?
Yeah, 20 people, have had restored sight that were considered legally blind or visually impaired from pig corneas.
Wow. That's impressive.
Right?
Wait, pig cornea or pig collagen?
Well, it was made from pig collagen, which is pig skin.
Okay.
It's not directly from pig eyes. Essentially, the skin is processed and the collagen from the skin is extracted, purified, and shaped into a dome shape like the lens of our eyes. And the nice thing about collagen is it's a protein instead of a cell, so there's less chance of it being attacked by the donor's or by the recipient's body.
So lots of bacon in my future. I can see it now.
Man, you're just hungry, I think.
Yeah, it is close to breakfast time. I guess sure, why not? Let's do this.
But let's think about this for a second before we slaughter pigs. Let's talk about.
I hadn't said nothing about slaughtering. I just want the bacon.
How do you think they get the bacon?
From Kroger.
Royce, I'm going to need for you to read Upton Sinclair's The Jungle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it welcoming?
It's not a family book. Let's just put it that way.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do the homework. I'm not afraid.
Yeah. Animal Farm, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. It's a cheaper and more available alternative for people who have corneal blindness. So this may be something we take a look at. And we'll keep an eye on this as well. More after this. Don't hurt me.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober.
Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From what you buy online to how you remember tasks to when you monitor your doorstep, Amazon is seemingly everywhere, and it appears the company doesn't want to halt its reach anytime soon. In recent weeks, Amazon has said that it will spend billions of dollars in 2 gigantic acquisitions that, if approved, will broaden its ever-growing presence in the lives of consumers. This time, the company is targeting 2 areas: healthcare through its $3.9 billion buyout of the primary care company One Medical, and the smart home, where it plans to expand its already mighty presence through a $1.7 billion merger with iRobot, the maker of the popular robotic Roomba vacuum. Perhaps unsurprisingly for a company known for its vast collection of consumer information, both mergers have heightened enduring privacy concerns about how Amazon gathers data and what it does with it. The latest line of Roombas, for example, employ sensors that map and remember a home's floor plan. It's acquiring this vast set of data that Roomba collects about people's homes, said Ron Knox, an Amazon critic who works for the anti-monopoly group Institute for Local Self-Reliance. Its obvious intent through all the other products that it sells to consumers is to be in your home, and along with the privacy issues come the antitrust issues, because it's buying market share. Amazon's reach goes well beyond that. Some estimates show the retail giant controls roughly 38% of the U.S. e-commerce market, allowing it to gather granular data about the shopping preferences of millions of Americans and more worldwide. Meanwhile, its Echo devices, which house the voice assistant Alexa, have dominated the U.S. smart speaker market, accounting for roughly 70% of sales, according to estimates by the Consumer Intelligence Research Partners. Ring, which Amazon purchased in 2018 for $1 billion, monitors doorsteps and helps police track down crime, even when users might not be aware. And at select Amazon stores and Whole Foods, the company is testing a palm scanning technology that allows customers to pay for items by storing biometric data in the cloud, sparking concerns of risks of a data breach, which Amazon has attempted to assuage. We treat your palm signature like any other highly sensitive personal data and keep it safe using best-in-class technical and physical security controls, the company said on a website that provides information about the technology. Even consumers who actively avoid Amazon are likely to have little say about how their employers power their computer networks, which Amazon, along with Google, has long dominated through its cloud computing service AWS. It's hard to think of another organization that has many touch points as Amazon does to an individual, said Ian Greenblatt, who heads up tech research at the consumer research and data and analytics firm J.D. Power. It's almost overwhelming, and it's hard to put a finger on it. And Amazon, like any company, aims to grow. In the past few years, the company has purchased the Wi-Fi startup Eero and partnered with the construction company Lennar to offer tech-powered houses. More after this on Arbitrage State of the Band's Weekend.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous, as in
Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Royce, what are you playing on your PlayStation these days?
Let's see. Astro's Playroom. That's what I play.
Astro's Playroom, seriously.
With my kids, they love it, man. They absolutely love it.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, because I'm moving, my PS5 has been packed away for about a month now, and I'm really missing it.
Yeah, I can see that. I was playing Kingdom Hearts for a while, and then I stopped.
Kingdom Hearts 1, 2,
Remastered.
3, remastered.
Yep,
the whole shebang.
The whole shebang,
as they call it, the entire story, which is not exactly true. Because because there's Birth by Sleep on PSP, and then there's the one that's on Vita that nobody ever sees anymore.
Now I have to go look and find this.
Yes, you do. Ha ha!
Dagnabbit.
Ha ha! I have successfully done my job for today.
All right, I'm gonna get Zelda on my PlayStation now.
There you go. Which is something you can do, but not what we're talking about today.
What? Okay. Yeah. We will have to talk about that later.
That may be a topic for another day. But consumer rights advocacy group in the UK is kind of saying, "What up, Sony, for charging a 30% commission fee on all digital purchases made through the UK PlayStation Store." Now, if you remember way back in the back days,
the old days,
Apple had a similar lawsuit from Epic Games, who did Fortnite, because Epic Games was basically going, "What up, Apple? You know, why are you charging?
You agreed to it. You signed the contract. What's the problem?"
Who looks at contracts anymore, right?
Lawyers.
That's
Josh,
true.
lawyers.
That's true. But this advocacy group in the UK has filed with the Competition Appeal Tribunal in the UK because basically what they're saying is Sony is a monopoly with some of their digital games. Now, this is true if you think about it. Gran Turismo, Sony. God of War, Sony.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could extend that out a bit. I mean, Death Stranding, Sony. Up until recently, we were talking about this. Final Fantasy, Sony. I mean, the thing is that with their exclusivity, they're kind of putting themselves into this little pocket.
Well, I mean, there's open source, and then there's like, okay, this is what we make. This is how we got our name. Okay, well, if you make the market, how are you cornering it?
Current Spider-Man. I'm just saying, I think that this is something that's very interesting that we definitely need to talk about, because the thing is that Sony has made their name, and Microsoft is about to be doing this.
Yeah.
Forza, Halo to a point.
Yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator now. And the thing is this considered a monopoly?
No, I think it's. I mean, you're building obviously an empire, but no, it's not a monopoly because you're not saying anyone else can't do it.
Well, there's more to this story, and you can go to arbitragetrade.com because this isn't over yet. No overhead on digital stuff, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
I want to download them all.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, is a privately held market research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the content of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to be investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, please visit arbitrage